Something that I think all heathens should try to do, an attempt, is find a way to, I suppose, physically manifest your faith and your belief, your religion, in a physical, literal way to help get yourself more in touch with your faith, to help it delve a little deeper and become more personal. Make your own set of runes, whether you're using stones, some sort of wood, even if you're using metal or maybe even bone, whatever. Make your own set of runes. Make your own gander, or wand, if you will. Make your own walking staff that you can use when you're out and about in nature. Keep a heathen journal, if you will, or a heathen diary. Write down your dreams that you've had, or experiences, or encounters, things like that. Try to write your own not necessarily just prayers, but you could do that. Try to come up with your own specific prayers, if you will. Your own poetry that you can use to read to the gods and the ancestors. But try to, also come up with your own versions of things. Maybe take something from a folk tale or a piece of lore, but maybe it's not very elaborate. It doesn't give you a whole lot to go on. Expound on it, beef it up. Create. Well, not necessarily create, but build on an old tradition, but make it your own. There are things like that you can do, possibly, or try to maybe even write up your own personal ceremony, a heathen ceremony to have. Find your own way of doing it, your own wording and pattern and method of how you want to do it. Create your own sacred space, whether it be an indoor stele, or altar, if you will, or outside if you have the space, if you have a backyard or a little small. Just, it doesn't have to be big, just a small space. Make a little sacred circle, an altar, whatever. Do something like that. Make your own sacred items. Make them yourselves, or even if you can't necessarily make them, consecrate them. Make them into sacred items. Say a knife. Maybe you're not a forger or a blacksmith. You can't forge your own knife. Well, buy a knife that's of a traditional style. Something that's actually well made, and it's not some just cheap little knockoff wall hanger piece of junk. Find something that's actually decent, but you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. You can find things that you can buy for a fairly decent and affordable price. And, take that item, make it your own, but also delve deeper. Consecrate this item. Make sacred this item. Take it out to your altar area outside, your sacred circle, or your indoor altar. Leave it there. Let it, just absorb this positive energy, if you will, from the gods and ancestors. Ask that the gods and ancestors bless and consecrate this item and make it sacred, because you wish to use it in ritual, to make this a ritual item. Do things like that to help make your faith that much more personal for you, but also that much more alive and tangible that you can grab a hold of. You have your Thor's hammer pendant. You have this consecrated knife that you use for ritual purposes. You have this sacred area in your backyard, and you did a land taking ritual to make sacred this space so that it is now a sacred and consecrated space that is special to you for ritual and religious purposes. Do things like that. This is something that we can all do. A lot of this stuff is fairly easy. Making your own walking staff or gander, rune-staved wand. This can be fairly simple, or it can be pretty elaborate and ornate. It just depends on your skill set and ability. Making runes, practically anyone can do that. It's extremely simple. And you can use just about whatever type of material. I think traditionally, probably the most common thing used would have been wood. But there have been other items found that at the very least have runes carved on them besides that of just wood. So I suppose that's personal preference, but nonetheless. I thought I'd make a quick talk about that. Just some different things that you could at least attempt to do to kind of bring your faith alive a little bit more, make it more personal to you, make it more real. But nonetheless, yeah, these are just a handful of things that I could think of. I'm sure there's probably more, but nonetheless, yeah. As a day-to-day, real-life practicing heathen, these are very good things to attempt to do, just to help connect you more with your faith, with the elements, with the gods and the ancestors, and to make it more real to you, but also make it more personal. So yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough about this little subject, so I'll end it here, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe if you can think of some other things to add into it, feel free to add them into the comments below. Thanks for listening.